Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, haven't recorded much this week. The weather's been really crappy for a few days. The last 2 days were absolutely beautiful, but kind of rainy, but temperature-wise was nice. A little cloudy this morning, but as you can see, there's some blue behind me. It's starting to look like it might be a good day, but it got chilly again. Not terrible, but chilly. Today, we are working on a project. So what you see right here, that is the transmission for Michaela's 2016 Chevy Tahoe, and I still have her car on the trailer. So we are going to hook the dually up to the trailer, and we're going to transport Michaela's car over to Hayesville because I have some friends that own a shop over there that have given me permission to come in and use their lifts because it'll make it a whole lot easier. Now, obviously, I can do this job without a lift, but it would require laying on the ground, and it's been raining, the ground's all wet, I can't get into the shop, and I'm just not really motivated to do so. So yeah, definitely not looking forward to laying on my back on this wet, gravelly ground to do a job like this. So I think that was the best option. It'll make me more efficient, I'll be more comfortable, less miserable, so that's what we're gonna do. I don't know for sure that we're gonna start it today, but I'm getting it over there, and she's gonna make sure to get something off of the lift to allow me room in. But she says I can have access to the shop all weekend while they're closed if I need to get it done. Don't even know if I get a helper, but so the plan now is to get the truck, here it is, over to her shop in Hayesville, and then I'm gonna have to come back and get my other little trailer, go up to Goliath and get my toolbox, and then take my toolbox over to the shop. So it's gonna be 2 trips before I ever get started on working on it. All right, so I did a quick walk around pre-trip on it, checked all the air pressure on the tires, which remember brand new tires, they're holding air great. I have not had to add air to them once since we've done that back in, was it November, December when we did the tires? I don't remember. But it's a good thing that we did all that work in this trailer because we've had to use it more than expected since then. I did have to crank the ratchet straps just 1 or 2 clicks because they did slack a tiny bit bringing it home from Blairsville about a month ago. But all in all, everything looks secure. So we're gonna head over to Hayesville. All right, guys, we made it up here to Crossroads Auto Center here in Hayesville, North Carolina. It's right on the traffic circle that we have here in town. Cindy is not here yet. She's actually the owner of the establishment, but her guys are clearing the lift I'm going to put it on. So I'm going to get this in a position, get it unloaded. And in theory, we shouldn't need to reload it when we're done because I've got a guy that's going to come here to program the transmission. So we should be able to drive it home. I'm going to go ahead and take the empty trailer back because hopefully we won't need it. And if we do, we'll bring it back. But, you know, positive thinking. We are not going to need this trailer after this for this vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and unload it, take it home. All right, guys, we got it off the trailer and up on the lift. All right, guys, so it is about 2 o'clock now, and I've still got to go and get my toolbox out of Goliath. So by the time I do that and I get back over here, it's Friday. These guys are ready to go home early on Fridays usually. So we have scheduled to just come back first thing in the morning and we'll get started on it. So I'll get all my tools loaded up today. The Tahoe is already on the lift. So we'll see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, it is the next morning, Saturday morning, and I'm here. Michaela came with me today. She's going to help out. We've asked Sonny, who works here at Crossroads, to come help today as well. He should be here shortly. We're going to tack this thing and get it all done. So hopefully it'll go relatively easy. Now, I've never done a transmission in one of these before, but I've done plenty of transmissions. So hopefully, you know, remove the drive shaft. I believe there is an exhaust crossover we're going to have to take out. Shift linkage, some electrical connectors. I think on this one we have to pull the starter out to be able to get to the torque converter bolts. Maybe some covers. All in all, it should be relatively easy. Luckily, it's only a 2-wheel drive. 4-wheel drive models, you'd have to worry about transfer case and front drive shaft as well. And then, of course, transmission mount, transmission crossover, and bell housing bolts. I'm probably forgetting something as I'm saying it, but yeah, everything should go pretty easy. Everything underneath the truck is in really good shape, so I don't think we're gonna have to fight with rusty stuff or anything. So with any luck, everything will go really good. Really, the only thing under the hood I think we need to do is to disconnect the battery. And once that's done, we'll raise the truck up in the air, and everything else should be able to be done from underneath. All right guys, step one, remove the bolts from the drive shaft universal joint as it meets the rear end housing. All right guys, so sometimes I get bad about recording while I'm working. So yeah, drive shaft is out, cross member is out, exhaust system is out, O2 sensors undone. We've got to pull the starter, undo the torque converter bolts, then we can start actually unbolting the transmission housing. Oh, and we've got the transmission lines as well. We're getting there. We're only about 45 minutes into it, I think, maybe an hour. It's pretty quick. All right guys, after about an hour and 20 minutes, the old transmission is out. Now most of it was pretty easy. Now the bolts that go here and over here, they were the challenging ones to get to because there's actually a bracket that goes on there. So it was double nutted. There was a 13mm nut that had to come off of the stud to get the bracket off. And then you had to get the bracket out of the way so you could get to the 15mm. Well, it actually held the bell housing to the engine block. But it is all out, and so now we're gonna get it off of the jack stand, get the new one onto the transmission jack stand, and we'll start reassembly. Okay guys, so now we have the new transmission up onto the transmission jack. This one didn't come with the oil line adapter on it, so I'm gonna pull the one off of the old transmission. And then we've also got to take off the stabilizer brackets to keep the torque converter in place in shipment. They can't be on there when it goes in. All right guys, and now that I get it off and I actually look at it, I think it's a little bit more than just an adapter for the lines. It actually looks like there's an assembly inside there. So and I can see the spring if you look in there closely. Yeah, so I think this is actually a thermostat valve so that it'll allow the transmission fluid to heat up before it sends it to the transmission cooler up by the radiator. So this just kind of works just like a thermostat in a cooling system. When it gets warm enough, it opens, it allows the flow so it can cool back down. And if it's running too cool, this will close off and just keep all the fluid inside the transmission and bypass the cooler. All right, and it looks like they sent us a new gasket for that assembly as well. And there's even a new gasket for the transmission dipstick adapter to go in there. So it's good. However, those little O-rings that are in there, no replacements for those, but they look in really good condition. So we're gonna roll with it. Worst case scenario, this is relatively easy to get to if we have to replace it later on. But don't have any access to get those at the moment. Okay guys, so I have attached the thermostat for the transmission cooler on there. Gasket's all replaced. And another thing we did was we flushed out the lines to go up to the radiator transmission cooler because I didn't want any of that old nasty black fluid that was in this transmission to contaminate the new transmission. So we basically pressurized the system with like a paint thinner to clean everything out, and then blew a bunch of compressed air through it until everything came out clean and clear. So I'm confident that that is not going to destroy our new transmission or compromise our fluid by mixing that old junk in there, because you guys know I'm putting some of that really good Amsoil stuff in it this time. All right guys, the transmission is up in place. We're just kind of drawing in the bolts of the bell housing, and we'll start hooking everything else back up. All right guys, it's just shortly after 2:30 and the transmission is done, 100% installed. Tools are cleaned up, boxes loaded back on the trailer. We are ready to head out. Now I do have somebody scheduled to come out on hopefully Monday to program the transmission because we can't drive it yet. We're not even gonna start it. We are gonna push it out and just let it hang out here until that guy can make his way over here, and then it should be ready to go. But I don't think it's too bad. We started at about 10:15, 10:20ish, somewhere like that. So really just barely over 4 hours, a complete transmission R&R. 2 guys with tools. It's amazing what you can do sometimes. 1 transmission installed, lunch with your family, toolbox put away. It's been a pretty good day. We're gonna call it quits for the day. Actually, I think we're gonna head to the gym, go do some grocery shopping, but no more real work for today. Guys, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. I hope this video was interesting to you. And until the next time we see you, keep those engines running.